I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
So here we are, at the end of another year. I do have a list of my favorite films. That will be the next video. I got about 10, 15 at least. So I figure I could name more films I did not like this year, but I'm stopped at 15. And despite what people think, there are films I do like. That'll be the next video. And of course, this is just my opinion. Doesn't have to be your opinion. It's just my opinion. Not fact, subjective opinion. And for me, these were the top 15 films I disliked the most. For one reason or another. Usually people start at the back to number one. I'm going to start at number fucking one. To get the fuel out. And here's some more fuel. My number one film that I disliked the most this year was Bill and Ted Face the Fucking Music. I know that's a divisive opinion. A lot of people love the film. That's cool if you love it. That's cool. It doesn't mean I have to. Why did I dislike it so much? Because I am a fan of the first two Bill and Ted movies. And people go, well, this was a gift for the fans. A rubber dog shit coming out of Hong Kong would be a better gift than this. I'm sorry. For me, as a Bill and Ted fan, I can only speak for myself. I did not want a movie 30 years later where you do the same shit, but then you also retcon shit from the previous film. I like Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. I think the ending is epic. I love the song, God did rock and roll. That's an epic song. And the success they had, showing the montage in the end credits, all the success, and they did it. They saved the world. Their music did what their fate, what we thought of at the beginning of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, what it led up to. And then nope, because we need another one, that's retconned. They didn't save the world. That whole montage didn't happen. That's funny. I saw it happen, but we'll retcon it. No, instead, they're losers. They're losers and losers, which, didn't we already have that at the beginning of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey? Where, man, they still don't know how to play. How come we don't know how to play yet? Oh, we're going to go in the Battle of the Bands. Oh, now in this, they're even more losers. They're just playing fucking buffet lines for just a taco night, playing fucking bagpipes. And still wondering, how come we can't play? That's funny, you played an I'm sorry. If you like the film, that's cool. But I did not want a sequel that was uncreative, unimaginative, lazy, cheap. Because this film looks cheap. The effects look cheap. The cinematography looks cheap. The writing is cheap. And you have the writers of the first two films. You have the director of Galaxy Quest. You got Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter coming back. And this is the best you can do. This is direct-to-video horseshit. Can you really buy the look of this film going in the theaters? The first film is a low-budget affair. And the first film looked 4 times the budget than this. I would say 10 times, but that's being big. 4 times the budget. But at least those first two films, and Bill His Bogus Journey looks like Independence Day compared to this movie. It looks like Star Wars compared to this movie. And here's the thing, just don't make the fucking film then if you can't do it right. That's what I get at. Like, I'm tired of these like, you had Terminator Genesis, Terminator Dark Fate, Dumb and Dumber 2, just Rambo 5, fucking A Good Day to Suck Hard, Alien Covenant, The Predator, where the fucking Predator takes an arm and here's a thumbs up. Stick the thumb up your ass. I'm tired of this shit. If you're not going to do it right... I'm sorry, yes, in a Bill and Ted movie, I expect imagination, I expect creativity, I expect good fucking songs. But you do a Bill and Ted movie, you can't even give me a good fucking song? Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, great soundtrack. Boulder's Journey, good soundtrack. I can name In Time and God Gave Rock and Roll to You and Shout It Out. Or, I need a breakaway. Do. There's nothing in this fucking movie. The effects look cheap as shit, as any other direct-to-video bullshit movie. Keanu Reeves had a poor job acting. He did not know how to act like Ted again. I'm sorry. I'm a big fan of Keanu Reeves, but it's been so long, and he's so long distant from that role, that he cannot play Ted again. And that was very apparent in the movie. He was awkward, because he did not know how to play Ted, because it's been so long since he's done that. This, after the Matrix films, and John Wick films, all this, he's a different guy. Alice Winter did a good job. The daughters, I could give a rat's ass. Oh, what do you mean uncreative? What do you mean unimaginative? You either did the same shit as the first two movies. Oh, now it's the daughters. They go through time. They get historical people. Because this big event at the end. Then they get killed. Then they go to hell. Then they have to get to the Grim Reaper. They have to get out of hell. There's even a fucking robot sent back to kill. Just like they had the evil robot Us's in Boulder's Journey. Only this is an annoying fucking derp who wouldn't shut the fuck up. I wanted Johnny Five to put his metal dick in this robot's mouth to shut it up. Johnny Five should wipe this motherfucker away from existence. This fucking robot in here. Whatever the hell his name was. I would call him Dickweed. Or Dipshit. Or Dickwad. That's his robot, yeah, robot Dickwad. I hope Johnny Five comes in and shoots you in the face and kick your balls into outer space. You fuck. Like, these... Oh, after 30 years, we really wanted to see Bill and Ted in fucking couples therapy. Because the princesses, you can't say I love you, you say we love you. Was that really a thing in the previous films? And is that really a big fucking deal? Are they beating the shit out of you? Do they owe you money? Are they smoking fucking joints or cocaine? Are they freebasing? No. So these princesses just come off as fucking bitches. Bitches leave. The daughters... fucking Beavis and Butthead here. I didn't give a shit about those two. I didn't give a fuck about those two daughters. And then, oh, you're the... Why we have not created the music to save everything. Because of you. We're your backup. So it wasn't Bill and Ted all along. It was their daughters. Because girls rule and boys drool. Yet the fuck again, which I'm fucking tired of. And the wannabe, because George Carlin passed away, so you have this other girl. And this girl, I'm getting tired of seeing her in movies. Hell, when I do my favorite films, like number 15 is like a film, it was okay, but it had that girl in it too. I'm like, God, I'm getting a little bit tired of this girl. I don't think she's as funny as she thinks she is. The girl that's the wannabe George Carlin, the wannabe Rufus. But it's not Rufus, yeah, I get it. I don't need to get it. And then the future people, which in all the previous films, the future people were nice and cool, and they're supportive of Bill and Ted. Now they're like, maybe we need to kill them. Well, they were dead in Boulder's Journey. Yeah, but it didn't work. And maybe we need... You live in the future. You you don't know what the fuck happened when you're in the fucking future? Isn't that what the future is? Isn't being in the future means you know what the fuck happened that led up to it? You could do time travel, but you can't look at a fucking Rolodex to see what the hell happened and how did they make... They did in the previous films. They did. That's why... But then they're like, well, only really Rufus was gung-ho about it. Is that why in the first Bill and Ted film, when they went to the future, yeah, those guys in those outfits got, party on, dude. Yeah, because they only thought Rufus, they only thought Rufus, yeah, Rufus may be, he may be right. Get the fuck out of here. Give me a fucking break. And then Bill and Ted, what do they do in the film? They're losers, they play shitty bagpipes, and they see their future selves, and every future self is an asshole. And more and more and more assholes. Future assholes. Future assholes with steroids. Oh, finally, they're ready to die, and then they're cool. This is what we wanted after 30 years. Even from the very beginning, it's not Bill and Ted's story anymore. It's the daughter's story. Because they're narrating the fucking film. They narrate at the beginning and end of the film. So it's no longer Bill and Ted's story. It's the daughter's story. That I could give a rat's ass about. And you know what? Again, have some imagination. Have some creativity. Have some actual good fucking music. You have none of those. And to me, those three are essential in Bill and Ted. It was like that in the first film. It was like that in the second film. What did this really bring? Other than my fucking piss and vinegar. What did this bring? I don't fucking know. Just a bunch of headache and bullshit. Again, making your two leads fucking losers yet again. So we could prop up the daughters. And the daughters are really getting all the pieces together. They got all the historical figures. They got this and this. They got Death to help them. Not because they're like, hey, go talk to Death. You go apologize. Even though Death stole their shit. But they're the ones that have to apologize. Okay. And then let's retcon some shit in oh, just the writers don't like Boulder's Journey. How do you know that? On the making of. From the Shout Factory Blu-rays. Especially when they did their commentary. They especially don't like the third act of the film. In particular. They like certain aspects, but they especially don't like the third act. I do. See, that's the thing. That you look at Boulder's Journey, you have creative stuff like the inner workings of hell. And you have that weird big bunny thing, and the drill sergeant guy, and the creepy grandma, and each one has a different color scheme, a pink or blue, and the robot evil us's, and station, and like they brought, like, what do you have here? An annoying fuckwhat robot that's a shitty version of robots you would see in Boulder's Journey. The daughter's doing the same thing that Bill and Ted did in the first two movies. Couples therapy. Oh, I guess that's the new thing. Good job. The music. There was no. And these films are about music. You would think there'd be actual good fucking songs on the soundtrack. But I mean, hey, I guess I'm just being crazy. I'm just being crazy. Just being crazy, right? I'm just being insane. And the acting, in particular, Keanu Reeves was bad. And you come, this guy who is a big Keanu Reeves fan, but it was bad. It was a bad fucking performance. And I like him in Constantine, and Street Teams, and the John Wick films, and Speed, and plenty more. Does this film need to be made? No. Did it hurt the previous films? Yes. Because all this build-up in the first two, you two guys, that was bullshit. It wasn't you two guys. It was what came out of your dick. And you're just the backup. insulting as a fan. Insulting. So yeah, the fucking franchise definitely faced the music. And just did some, I mean, I've seen better fucking special effects on YouTube videos. That's another thing. And just so, Bill and Ted Face the Music and kiss my ass. To me, yet again, let sleeping dogs lie. This is why I don't really care for when they bring back these franchises, because shit like this happens. And then it gets the pass. And if you like the film, fine. But doesn't mean I have to. It's bad writing, bad effects, some bad acting, and people love the nostalgia. You know what? I don't get the nostalgia thing, because it's here. It's right here. This stuff is right here. Okay? It's right here. It's at the tip of your fingertips on streaming. And it's here. Your nostalgia's right here. Fuck. What lines of dialogue, what music, what anything are you don't remember a year from now with this movie? So that's my number one. Number two, Bulletproof II. Yes, they made a Bulletproof II. It came out early 2020. Because Universal got the rights to all this stuff, so they did like a Backdraft 2 and all sorts of sequels. Bulletproof number one, no one remembers the first one. I like the first Bulletproof. Adam Sandler, Damon Wayans, but no one, barely anyone remembers it enough to get a sequel. And then they do this thing with the sequel where the first film exists as a movie because they go, oh, they made a movie about our life, and it had Damon Wayans, Adam Sandler, and that movie sucked. I'm like, wow. You know, the kettle calling the pot black. You have no room to say anything sucks. Bulletproof 2. No chemistry with the leads. Bad comedy. Bad acting. Bulletproof 2 is one of those that you just go, why? Why is this thing that exists? I did a full rant on it. To be perfectly honest, I don't remember anything much else about the movie. It's just I was looking on my YouTube page, 2020 films, I went, oh shit, that's right. This did exist. And I remember hating the fuck out of it. But it's that memorable that I forgot almost every fucking thing about it. Bulletproof fucking 2. Number 3, Rogue. This is the Megan Fox and her mercenary team versus a shitty CGI lion. Because we really buy Megan Fox as a fucking badass mercenary. I don't buy her at the fucking laundromat. I don't buy her taking an order at McDonald's, let alone as a fucking tough mercenary. And then it wants to be more about this team trying to get these ladies to safety. And then, oh, once in a while, here's this CGI lion that pops up. That looks like garbage CGI. Megan Fox can't act for shit. Megan Fox can't act her way out of a fucking Teletubby commercial. And I'm supposed to buy that she has as much emotions as a fucking ant. I've seen butterflies have more emotion than Megan Fox. I've seen TVs that have more electrical current than anything of magnetic performance. Yeah, magnet because it drives you the fuck away like a magnet can. You do the opposite, doesn't attract it fucking, yeah, maybe attracts flies on shit. Maybe that's the type of attraction. Or be like fucking Magneto and just drive you the fuck away, drive you up the fucking wall like Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street. They just Megan Fox, one of the worst actresses out there, bar none. And she looks like someone has that face, stuck up face. You just want to. Okay, not really. That's going too far. But I would avoid her. I would not want to talk to Megan Fox because she'd be a stuck-up bitch. You could tell she's a stuck-up bitch. Oh, you wouldn't have sex with her? Well, if she got a hood on, then I would. But how about, there's a lot of beautiful women that actually have a decent personality too. And there's a lot of good actresses out there. Why the fuck did she get work? I don't know. There's a lot of great actresses. And then on top of that, you don't even get much of the evil, deadly lion, because at the end, we gotta do this message that it had these cages and these farms where they put these lions and such into, and it's torture, and the evil lion was just protecting her babies, so they don't kill the lion. She walks away, though she killed a bunch of innocent people who had nothing to do with this, killed most of her team that had nothing to do with this, but she had some babies, she was trying to protect them, so her and her shitty CGI looking kids walked the fuck away. Rogue, you know what, just look in the mirror, rub one off, I don't know, fucking Rogue, there's my Rogue, okay, watch Rogue on X-Men cartoon. The Grudge, for some reason we need a reboot sequel of The Grudge. And even if you like The Grudge, you have to go get the creatures from The Grudge, because they stayed the fuck behind, and instead it's another fucking, they want to do their own version, because you don't have the kid that goes meow meow, and you don't have the Asian, you don't have them, you have new ones that I can't remember what the fuck they looked like or seemed like, they were that memorable. And like the previous Grudge films, it does this thing where it goes all over the place timeline-wise, like the previous films. How about you do a Grudge film that actually is... Would that be fine? And then John Cho. It's funny, John Cho is a big part of the trailer, but not of the movie. It's like they knew he'd be the best part of the film, so put him in the trailer, but then he's barely in the fucking film. Which sucks. Instead it's about this cop and her kid and her partner, and I don't give a rat's ass about, oh yeah, Lin Shaye in there because she was in the Insidious films, so put Lin Shaye in there. Underused John Cho, be fucking boring as hell with not much happening, and then it even rip off shit from the previous. Like I remember in one of the Grudge films, I think it was Sarah Michelle Gellar in the shower, and then a hand comes out of her hair. They do the same thing, only as John Cho, and comes out of his hair in the shower. You're literally repeating gags like that. Wow. Unfucking believable. That lazy, huh? Wow, such a wonderful fucking movie. No, it's not. Fuck The Grudge. The Tax Collector. People are like, what the fuck is that? Yeah, exactly. Below generic, boring action film. Shia LaBeouf is in it, but he's not the star of it. Some other fucking guy is. And by the third act, Shia LaBeouf's been killed. This guy doing his boring fucking revenge plot. And this is one of those movies I'm watching, I'm going, this is a waste of fucking time. This is a waste of fucking time on my part. Fuck The Tax Collector. You're not saying much about it, because I already reviewed the fucking film, reviews on the channel, and some of them I honestly don't remember shit about. That's how much I valued my fucking time on them. Next one, Hubie Halloween. Yeah, if you want to see Adam Sandler once again, puke, do his fucking mouthpiece, doing these stupid accents, stupid voices, and you get shit jokes, you get tons of cameos by Shaquille O'Neal, and surprised fucking Vanilla Ice wasn't in it. Piss poor acting, piss poor comedy, bottom of the fucking barrel, and people actually liked the film. To each their own, man. I don't get why this comedy sells. where just Adam's and he goes to a basement and Steve Buscemi was in there and he finds a bunch of papers with shit on it and Steve Buscemi thinks he's a werewolf and Rob Schneider gets him and fucking drinking the soup and going projectile vomiting for 2 minutes. I don't get it. I don't get why that comedy sells. I don't. I'm sorry, I do not. It's just yet again Adam Sandler not trying. Once again Adam Sandler not giving a fuck. Next up, Wonder Woman 1984. Yep, that made the list. As Chris Jericho would say, you're on the list. Because you had all this money, you had 2.5 hour running time, and this is what you came up with. I had someone the other day going, oh, you hate a lot of DC movies. I like Shazam. I loved Joker. I like a lot of the DC animated films, Batman Under the Red Hood, The Dark Knight Returns with Peter Weller voicing Batman. Even Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. Even Justice League, The New Frontier. There's many of those DC animated films I enjoy. Oh, again, Shazam, Joker I enjoyed. I'm not the only one that hated this movie. This gets like a 5.7 IMDb for a brand new film like this. That's pretty fucking low. Go on YouTube, you throw a rock, you hit another person who hated this film. For a number of reasons. Wonder Woman wishing for her love to come back, and Chris Pine has to possess a guy, and then Wonder Woman rapes that guy. Because that guy's body is just used as a fuck toy, and be put in danger. Which is funny, because these magical wishes, they'll create random cows at one point, and random bits of money, and walls will be made, and random people will be made, but for you have to possess this body. So it didn't even need to be part of the equation. Because there's a joke later on where some guys walk in, there's a bunch of cows nearby. What, did those cows possess other cows? Just like Chris Pine, Steve, Trevor possessed this guy? I said that in the fucking video, and if you like the film, cool, but how do you explain that? I didn't know Wonder Woman was the type to be like, well, I used to like this guy. Granted, the body he's in is innocent. That body, maybe the soul is dead, or he's in some compartment over here going, help me. But it's like, no, I'm going to rape you and rape your body. So, that's like if you drugged a lady and she was blacked out, used her body. This guy, blacked out, Wonder Woman used the body, because Steve was in it. Someone actually mentioned, well, what about Quantum Leap? You like that movie, and you do know Quantum Leap is about a guy who goes to a body for a reason to save that person's life, or to save someone else's life. And actually within the story, they actually explain that that person is in Sam's body back in the future time. They made that known multiple times in the show. That soul, at least they explain where that soul went. He's in Sam's body and Al's trying to talk to the person. Al mentions that, see, I think people have mentioned that, I hate to say it, you have not seen Quantum Leap. They actually go into it. It's actually a good show. And actually has some good writing, unlike this bullshit. Not to mention its overlong running time. Slow pace. It wants to be very corny in its humor. But then it wants to flip its tone at a drop of a hat. A cheetah looks like shit. Looks goofy. Even the fucking cats look better than this cheetah. nothing really happens to like an hour in. And just from the vote for Pedro wanting these wishes, and people get 1 wishes, but somehow Cheetah gets 2 wishes, and people go, well, that's because the first wish she got from the stone, the second wish she got from Pedro. I thought they were the same thing, though. And if that's the case, does that mean Wonder Woman gets a second wish? If that's the case, how about Wonder Woman finds out about that? You got a second wish? Then she uses a second wish to help stop this fucking shit. But no, the writers couldn't think of that. And for some reason, she lassos something and everyone in the world decides to listen to her. What if you were the fuck away from the TV and you didn't see the TV? How would you renounce your wish then? Hey, when people were making wishes, why didn't someone wish for world peace? Hey, those nuclear weapons? You tell me of the millions of people, one person didn't go, I wish there was no nuclear weapons. I wish those missiles would disappear. No one wished for that. And the millions and millions of wishes being made for a vote for Pedro. Now, one of them was, can you vote world peace? I vote for world peace. I vote for those nuclear weapons to disappear. No one wished for that? Not even one person? There's just so many things it makes you think about. Like, how is it that in Batman v Superman, Batman's like, who is this girl? You mean the woman whose voice was everywhere in 1980 fucking 4 to tell the world to renounce their wishes? And Batman v Superman is going, who's this bitch? Then people go, well, those movies don't exist. Says who? Have they ever actually said that? I don't remember them saying that. I remember that's why this is a prequel in 84, because as someone would put it, if you did an actual sequel of this happened, people would go, where's the Justice League? So, and even the 84 motif is used at the beginning of the film to do all these almost parody version of the 80s, kind of like the Future Bar at Back to the Future Part 2, when Marty McFly went to that 80s bar. That 80s bar is the 80s in this movie. And some people even point out, you don't even have good songs. Except Relax. But like, you would think in 1984, the whole movie would be littered with 80s songs. Maybe people would be growing about that, because it'd be like Guardians of the Galaxy type of stuff. But your whole marketing is based on that. I'm surprised you didn't go that route. At least I could have listened to some good songs, as superficial as that is. There's barely any action scenes. Kristen Wiig trying to be a wannabe Selena Kyle. I'm a nerd with glasses. Oh, now I'm Miss Badass. It's just... And then there's... No one remembers this, and Man of Steel, they have such a hard time thinking an alien exists, but in here, the whole world was making wishes. But aliens, that's too far. Man of Steel doesn't exist. I've never heard that. I've never heard that they said those films don't exist. So, by all intents and purposes, they do. That's what I get. That's what I mean by none of this makes any fucking sense. And I don't see how it's fun. I don't see how it's entertaining. I don't see 2.5 hours. There's plenty of shit you could cut out. Bunch of fucking filler. Oh my god. Steve's never seen fireworks. Weren't there fucking fireworks? You tell me there's no fireworks when he was growing up? You've never seen fireworks before? Really? You tell me back in the day, when World War I ended, they never had a thing called fireworks? I didn't know fireworks was a brand new fucking thing. Oh, you're from World War I? That's okay. Here's this plane, and you can just fly the shit and make oh, Wonder Woman, you're losing your powers, but even though you're losing your powers, you didn't make this fucking plane invisible, even though you're losing your powers. Something that you could not do at the height of your powers, but when you're losing your powers, you can make the plane invisible. And, by the way, you never use that again. Why don't she make herself invisible? I'm sincerely asking someone. I asked that before. I didn't hear anybody answer me. Or, yeah, I didn't see anybody. If she didn't make the plane invisible, why did she not make herself invisible? You think that would work in the fight against Cheetah? Or to sneak up vote for Pedro? And then, oh, she can fly. Oh, you mean the flight that she never used ever again? Not in Batman v Superman. That would have helped against Doomsday flying. You know, the whole flying bit. You know, against, I think one time I said Darkseid, it's Steppenwolf. In Justice League, she probably wouldn't want to fly around him too, right? See, that's the thing when you do this shit. Oh, she can fly now. But again, it then makes you go, well, why didn't she fly in Justice League? Why didn't she fly in fucking Batman v Superman? Why didn't she fly in shit? Why didn't she turn anything invisible? Why doesn't she turn herself invisible? Why didn't she turn Batman's car invisible? Let me ride with you, Batman. I'll make the car invisible. While we go fight Steppenwolf. That's what I mean. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Fuck Wonder Titties. Actually, I love Wonder Titties. Fuck Wonder Woman 84 times in a row. Others on Host, another found footage movie that I honestly thought was overrated. Yes, thankfully it was short, but it was just... It's a found footage, but done with webcams in the middle of a pandemic. So people are stuck at home. And you know what? I thought Unfriended did that better. I think Searching... humongous improvement over anything that Host tried to do. Which is not fair because they're two different... one's more of a drama, thriller. This is more of a horror film. I just went... I think because I've seen so many of these type of films, I watched this. It was nothing to impress me with. But you're talking about a guy that have seen... I've probably seen at least 100 found footage films. At least 80. I know I've seen at least 80. Because I did a list of all the ones I've seen that I remember. And when it got to like 88, 85, 88, something like that. I'm like, holy shit. Maybe that's the thing. I've just seen so many of these fucking films that nothing scary, creepy, suspenseful I found out of it. Sorry. Doolittle. That's a movie where its trailers made it seem it was this epic film. But when you watch the film, it's a movie where John Cena voices an animal and saying lines from the 90s. And you have a scene where Dr. Dolittle does an operation on a dragon in which he's pulling items out of a dragon's asshole, including armor, weapons, and that makes the dragon feel better, and the dragon lets out a huge fucking fart into Robert Downey Jr.'s face. And there's a point where there's a tiger and someone tits it in the balls. I forgot what the fuck stupid line that tiger said. Or was it a lion? That shows how much I gave a shit about that movie too. Why don't you look it up? Because to me, that's part of the reason. The fact that it didn't make that much of a fucking impression is also a reason to put in the negative column. All that money wasted. All that money fucking wasted on something that's more Eddie Murphy's Dr. Dolittle than the marketing would make you seem as if it's a more magical movie. They knew how to hide it in that first fucking trailer, all these stupid fucking jokes. Making references to fucking Rush Hour. Hear the words coming out of my mouth? Let's see. Hard Kill. More like hard to sit through. Another Bruce Willis film where he's taking a fucking paycheck. And a very mundane, below routine, in and out, abandoned place, middle of nowhere in some Eastern European country or where the hell, with fresh-faced guy, his team, fighting bad guys, and nothing impactful or exciting or adrenaline pumping in his action sequences. And Bruce Willis, horrible job. Like, you want to see a guy whose soul has been sucked out by Shang Tsung, Bruce Willis is a prime candidate to watch in movies like this. These others, I can't remember, like Artemis Fowl. I remember watching the film for a request, and actually one of them was a first time watch. My natural reaction, I went, okay, well, when is this movie going to pick up? I think it was halfway through where I went, wait, is the entire movie in this house? Like, is the rest of the movie in this one fucking house? Like, isn't this something that is like a global adventure story? No, it's all going to be in this one fucking house. Holy shit. And just... from what I understand, people who love that book really hated that fucking movie. I don't blame you. Don't Listen, very routine. Listen, that's a word that gets used a lot. By the numbers, if you've seen The Conjuring, Insidious, those type of films, you've seen Don't Listen. It's just in another language. Fantasy Island. Okay, well, let's make it a horror film, but let's make it PG-13. Then let's make it like 2 hours long. Then let's make it where you're wondering where the fuck anything's going. And a horror movie version of Fantasy Island maybe could work. But the way it was done in that movie, it felt like there was shit cut out, even though it was a long movie. It didn't really have a good flow to it. Because you're this fantasy, then cuts to this, then cuts to this, then back to this. I mean, in truthfulness, if you don't make a horror movie version of this, it might have been worked better as an anthology. Like an anthology horror film, but it's Fantasy Island. And it's a bunch of people, then we're at this one, beginning, middle, end, then this one. Some end better, some don't. Or however the fuck it works for Fantasy Island. I mean, other films, Spencer Confidential, that was a Mark Wahlberg film that, like I said, pretty damn forgettable. I think Peter Berg directed it. Yeah, it shows how much I remember that fucking movie. And I reviewed it. Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey is low on the list. Which just shows how many fucking bad films there were when Birds of Prey... Oh, Gretel and Hansel. I had that between Artemis Fowl and Don't Listen. Forgot Gretel and Hansel. I fucking wonder why. See, it's Gretel and Hansel, because Gretel, she's a lady. She's more important. Because ladies are more important. See, this is why I started with number one, because I knew by the end I'd run out of steam. The to recap, Bill and Ted Face the Music #1, Bulletproof II #2, Road #3, The Grudge #4, #5, Hoobie Halloween #6, Wonder Woman 84 #7, Host #8, #9, Hardtail #10, and then Artemis Fowl, Gretel and Hansel, Don't Listen, Fantasy Island, Spencer Confidential. Birds of Prey would be below all those because it wasn't nearly as boring as Wonder Woman 84. At least there's stuff happening on screen. I wasn't a fan of it because I thought it was kind of just a rejet of Deadpool. Because you had the plot of the first Deadpool where a lot of it's told in a flashback. And then there's a lot of breaking narration. And I guess that's not fair to say because Deadpool was more of a love story. Birds of Prey wasn't. But Birds of Prey did have the Deadpool 2 story where your lead has this younger person who is important to the plot and it becomes our lead protecting this younger person and then forming a team. If it's not X-Force, here it's the Birds of Prey. So maybe it's more Deadpool 2 I'm thinking of. I'd rather watch Deadpool 2. But yeah. Even with a film, even with a year where not a lot of films came out, I still managed to find 10, 15 movies worth... Not even worth a fucking pot to piss in. So fuck these movies. But I do have films I enjoy. I could probably find 15 movies I enjoyed this year. What are they? I will tell you next time. And we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.